from the Digital Media Center on the campus of Southern Oregon University in Ashland, Oregon. This is Ramping Up Your English, an educational program for intermediate level English language learners. Here's your host for Ramping Up Your English, John Letts.
Welcome to Ramping Up Your English, winner of the Southern Oregon Television Award for Program of the Year and the Award for Best Educational Program. I'm the host and producer, John Letts. Ramping Up Your English is an educational support program for intermediate English learners. It's a program for people from all language backgrounds. Ramping Up Your English is also for people of all ages. If you've already passed the beginning stages of learning English and want to reach higher levels of English proficiency, this program is designed to meet your needs. We take a content-based approach to helping you reach higher levels of English proficiency. Our current thematic unit is animals. This is segment 1 of episode 67. Now, looking at this poster, can you tell what concept it illustrates? Well, the animal is called a porcupine, and the caption says that they have sharp hairs that warn enemies to stay away. Now, if you think the concept is animal defenses, you're right. But this also illustrates a physical adaptation this animal has. Now, this poster illustrates 3 animal adaptations, and it provides them with defense. Now, what I'm saying there, if you look at the poison dart frog, it has brightly colored skin, warning that it uses poison. The katydid, it blends with its leafy environment. This defense is known as camouflage. The armadillo has a hard shell which provides armor. When threatened, the armadillo rolls into a ball so the armor covers all exposed parts of its body. That action of rolling into a ball is an example of a behavior adaptation. So when you write your report on the animal you decide to research, you'll want to find and report on your animal's physical and behavior adaptations. Our last 2 episodes have focused on adaptations. Here's a quick review. The cheetah has long legs for running fast and a long, flat tail for balance during high-speed turns. Those are some of its physical adaptations. Cheetahs sneak up close to their prey before giving chase. That's a behavior adaptation. Now, here's an animal loaded with adaptations. Beavers have sharp teeth for cutting down trees. They eat the inner bark of the trees, but they do something more remarkable than that. Beavers carry branches in the water and use them to build dams. They dam a stream to make water back up behind the dam. They also build their lodges out of the branches. The water in this video is impounded by the beaver dam. In the middle distance, you can see the beaver lodge mounded up above the surface. Beavers make the entrance to their lodges under the water that they dam up. This provides protection from most predators. So beavers are basically engineers and construction workers. They have many physical adaptations that allow them to do those amazing things, and the things they do are behavior adaptations. Elephants have some notable adaptations, especially that long trunk. That can hold 2 gallons of water in that trunk, which they can drink or give themselves a cooling shower. Those big flat ears are another adaptation for elephants, helping them cool their huge body and to warn away threats. Now watch this fish as it eats. You can spot some of the adaptations it has. Now I notice it has bright color, and I see how it utilizes its closely packed teeth to eat. I also notice that it can swim sideways and even move backwards. Now we've enjoyed video of sea turtles in previous episodes. This sea turtle has some interesting adaptations. Instead of the clubby feet like turtles on land, sea turtles have flippers as their front feet. The sea turtle shell is flat, allowing it easier movement in the water. There's less resistance that way. Sea turtles are able to spend a great deal of time underwater before coming up to breathe air. Now, these odd-looking hippopotami have the number of physical and behavior adaptations. Their bodies are designed to spend most of their time in water, which they do. Hippos come out at night to graze on land, but they get much of their food from underwater plants as well. Can you see the lions? Well, of course you can, but you can also see how they blend in with the dry grass they're passing through on their way to a hunt. Now, who can doubt that a shark is a well-equipped apex predator? Notice the smaller fish swimming with it. They clean the shark's spiky scales and get bits of the shark's meals. The shark refrains from eating these helpers. Check out this tropical lionfish. It has such overwhelming physical adaptations that you can hardly tell it's a fish. All those appendages confuse predators as well. They also make it look bigger, and a predator that does attack may end up with something other than the fish's body. This spotted stingray has an obvious adaptation. It keeps it safe from most predators. That long stinger can produce a nasty wound and has even been known to kill. Their behavior of burrowing themselves in the sand and the sea bottom brings them success in ambushing prey. Now, this red fox has some adaptations worth noting. That bushy tail provides warmth when it curls up to sleep in a cold environment. The long legs allow foxes to walk in fairly steep snow, keeping its body core above the snow. And they can use those to detect, they can detect, that's using their ears, detect small rodents moving underneath the snow. Those long legs allow the fox to spring up in the air and come down with forepaws on the rodent, giving it a midwinter meal. Now, these zebra stripes serve to confuse predators, especially when a herd of zebras are moving. Zebras have a defensive social structure when the stallion of the group protects the other members, delivering a fatal kick to would-be predators that get too close to the herd. It seems that once you become aware of adaptations that animals have, you start to see them everywhere. It's a bit like words that you become aware of in your target language. A word seems new because it's new to you, but then you start seeing it in many things that you read or hear, and that's how that happens and what people say. So this edition of Zoobooks will help you become more aware of an animal adaptation. It's the Animal Wonders edition, and I'll do a quick review. So let's see what's inside of this edition. This page shows a number of adaptations and what those adaptations do for the animals that possess them. Do you see the bird walking on the floating leaf? Don't try that at home. In areas prone to floods, the species of ants link their legs together to form a floating ball. The ball slowly spins, allowing all the ants a chance to be on top to breathe. It was absolutely amazing when I learned about the adaptation of this frog. It can survive being frozen during the winter and come out alive when the weather warms up. Seems it has some kind of natural antifreeze in its blood. The physical adaptation of this chameleon is a bit startling. Its sticky tongue is longer than its body, allowing it to snatch insects from quite a distance. Now, if you're interested in behavior adaptations, Zoobooks has an edition for this as well. It's entitled Animal Champions. In this edition, you get to see animals that are best at their behaviors. On this page, I see one of my favorite wild birds, the peregrine falcon. It dives great distances to catch its prey in the air, diving over 200 miles an hour. This wandering albatross has the longest wingspan of all the birds. Now, how does that adaptation help it? These birds fly great distances over the ocean. The long wings catch the wind and allow them to spend most of their lives aloft without needing to rest. Zoobooks are a great source of learning about adaptations and other information you'll need for your report. You're likely to find them at your local library, including your school library if you're still in school. Zoobooks are also available by subscription. You can go to zoobooks.com. I'll have that link on my website, letscreate.org. Just navigate to the episode 67 page and look for it there. This ends segment 1 of episode 67. Let's start segment 2 by seeing what kind of language we need to report behavior adaptations. We earlier looked at physical adaptations of bald eagles, learning the connecting words and phrases to communicate the cause-effect relationship. Now, we said that bald eagles have keen eyesight, which allows them to spot their prey from a distance. We told of the eagle's sharp talons that permit them to grab and hold their prey. We even pointed out the bald eagle's sharp beak, which they use in order to tear their prey into smaller pieces to fit into the mouths of their young. In this episode, we'll look at the behaviors that bald eagles perform in order to survive and thrive in their environments. Now, we'll need to use some action words when we take note of those behaviors. Now, here are some notes about bald eagle behaviors. They perch on tall objects. They look down to spot fish or other prey. They swoop down on the water, extending their talons toward and opening them. They close their talons when they reach the fish, sinking those sharp talons into the body of the fish. They tear the fish into smaller pieces for eating. Now let's look at what those behaviors do for the bald eagles. That high lookout point is used so they can locate their prey. It's also a result of looking down. Their swooping down results in approaching their prey. Extending their talons is all about preparing for the catch. Closing those talons and sinking them into the fish's body results in the capture of their prey. Now let's look at the connecting words and phrases. We put these facts together to show you a cause-effect relationship between the behaviors and the results of those behaviors. Bald eagles perch on tall objects in order to locate their prey. Looking down allows them to find their prey. Swooping down facilitates quickly approaching the fish. They extend their talons forward so they can catch the fish. They close those talons in order to grab and hold the prey. Eagles tear the fish into smaller pieces with their beaks, facilitating ingestion of the fish. Now, if you've watched our last episode on physical adaptations, you'll recognize these connecting words. They're the same ones. The difference is that you're connecting actions with results. So we use action words, which we call verbs in English grammar. So it's the verbs of action rather than the nouns of physical traits that allows us to show the cause-effect relationship between an animal's behavior and the results of that behavior. It's great to know that we can get that double duty out of the connecting words for both physical and behavior adaptations. It's possible since either one is a cause-effect relationship. And showing the relationship between cause and effect is a cognitive skill that's valued in an academic setting, especially in science and social studies. Now, birds have common traits that give them important places in nature. Let's open segment 3 by learning more about birds.
If you like birds and you live in Southern Oregon, I have good news for you. Our region is blessed with a wide variety of avian life. These baby great horned owls are called owlets. Their nest is within sight of Bear Creek. This bird is called a flicker. Flickers don't excavate their own nests. They take over the nest used last year by a woodpecker. Woodpeckers don't reuse their nests, preferring to make a new one each year. This flicker's nest is in a snag. A snag is a tree that's dead but is still standing. Southern Oregon is blessed with several species of hummingbirds. This is one of them. This little jewel is an emerald hummingbird, its name coming from its bright, shining green color. Near the Rogue River, just across from Tuvale Park, great blue herons are building their nests. These birds are usually solitary, but they gather when raising their young in an area called a rookery. You may have seen these birds before. These are mallard ducks. In this pair, the male mallard has the bright green head, while the hen is a beautiful brown color. The male duck is called a drake. Ducks are an example of waterfowl, since so much of their habitat needs are met in the water. Notice how the hen keeps dipping her head in the water. Mallard ducks feed off the plants that are under the water's surface. Also along Bear Creek, we spot a raptor, a red-tailed hawk. From up here, it can spot prey on the ground. Red-tailed hawks have very sharp vision, which enables them to spot small prey at a distance. Now, this individual is blind in one eye, so it's missing a major adaptation of its species. It still has needle-sharp talons, though. This allows hawks to grab and kill their prey. This hawk can't live on its own with its blind eye. Its role is now education by wildlife images. Deep in the forest at dusk, this great horned owl adult was keeping its sharp eyes on us. The owl's day is just beginning, preparing for a hunt in the darkness of nighttime. This rufous-sided towhee is perched in a riparian zone along Bear Creek. The name towhee comes from the bird's call. These were once known as spotted towhees. They have a wide range in North America. They're found in woodlands, forest edges, and gardens, any place where there's low scrubby growth. This purple finch was located near a bird feeder at Coyote Trails Nature Center. A common sight in my neighborhood, this mourning dove is perched on a branch. The name comes from the melancholy sound it makes. Mourning doves are often seen on the ground, but they can fly up too. Look at all the holes in this living tree, each of them holding an acorn. This is a granary, a storage place produced by acorn woodpeckers. This is their winter food supply. Each niche is hollowed out with the woodpecker's beak. They fit the acorns of just the right size into the right hole.
He's got a red head.
Really?
The one on that reed out there.
This downy woodpecker is pecking out insects from a cottonwood tree. Woodpeckers do a number of things helpful to people. These are Canada geese. Yes, the same birds that grace the sky on their epic 1,000-mile-plus migrations. These are the same species, but they don't migrate. Life for them is good enough here in Southern Oregon, so they stay here, and this is where they raise their young. Geese and water go together. On ponds, lakes, and even on the fast-moving Rogue River, Canada geese seem to float effortlessly. They appear to be most at home on or near water. Canada geese have long necks, elevating their heads high. When a flock is feeding, some of the geese stand guard, alerting the others of approaching danger. This much smaller bird has a short beak of a seed eater. During the warmer months, Southern Oregon is blessed with the turkey vulture. Its bald red head gives the turkey vulture its name. Here you see a turkey vulture doing what it does best, riding the updrafts of air, soaring with infrequent flapping of its wings. Turkey vultures do what all vultures do. It eats dead animals, helping the decomposing process. They gather in large groups and migrate to Mexico in the winter. That's not unlike seagulls. They frequent the southern Oregon coast, seen flying here at Brookings. Seagulls are highly adaptable, eating dead animals on the beach, small living creatures, and even human garbage. I've seen a seagull eat bacon. Human food, of course, is not good for them. The edge of the ocean, like the Pacific Ocean on the Oregon coast, provides the ideal habitat for seagulls. They share the beach with these shorebirds. This house sparrow finds seeds even at a curb, while this young white-crowned sparrow dines on an earthworm. This field of fiddleneck weeds draws sparrows and finches, both seed eaters.
The seed eater.
Here's a well-named bird, a barn owl. They are often found nesting in barns during the day. They hunt at night. While nocturnal birds often go unseen, there are many species to be enjoyed during the day. You just need to look up or look down on the water. Through a dense fog, these white pelicans were seen on Upper Klamath Lake. This was the first time I saw this type of feeding behavior. White pelicans are often seen in this area. While they don't let you get too close, they're not especially shy of people. That allowed me to get this exciting shot. Seen at the water's edge, this slate-colored junco prepares to fly off. Now this sparrow stays put, feeling safe inside the dense vegetation that grows in the riparian zone. Every year in the spring, I'm blessed with a visit by Oregon juncos. They're back from their winter migration, and they're always hungry. I'm never sure what they find to eat, but they're very busy feeding on something. These are ringnecked ducks. The adult males have the black back and the white plumage on their breast. They're further distinguished by the white stripes on their bills. Like most ducks, these are at home in the water, especially the still waters of ponds and lakes. These ringnecked ducks are enjoying their float in Grants Pass, where an old industrial site was turned into a series of ponds for wildlife habitat. Volunteers developed a park around these ponds. When I first saw these ducks, I thought they were coots, but a closer look at their bills changed my mind. In the same pond, I saw this green-winged teal. You don't have to leave southern Oregon to see red-tailed hawks or any of the many birds that make their homes here. Our region hosts a great variety of avian life, some of them migratory and others living here permanently. All of them fill important roles and enrich our lives.
You're watching Ramping Up Your English. We'll learn more about birds in our next episode. I'd love to hear from you and see how this program is helping you progress with learning English. Send an email to letscreatepro@gmail.com. Visit my website at letscreate.org for all the support materials for this episode. Just navigate to the episode 67 page. You can watch and even download all episodes of Ramping Up Your English at archive.org/details/roguetv. Use the search box by entering Ramping Up Your English. You'll find all the episodes there. Ramping Up Your English can be seen in Ashland on Channel 15 or 115 of the Ashland Home Network, and in the rest of Southern Oregon on Charter Cable Channel 182. Showtimes are 8 a.m. on Mondays and 7:30 p.m. on Thursdays. Visit rvtv.sou.edu for free live streaming. Showtimes will vary in different areas, so check your local public access and education stations. I want to thank my director, Denise Ross, and I want to thank my talented and loyal crew, and I want to thank you, our viewers. All of you helped make this program an award winner. Join us next time for Ramping Up Your English. I'm John Letts.
You've been watching Ramping Up Your English, a support program for intermediate level English language learners. Learn more. Visit our website at letscreate.org. You can also watch or download today's program at archive.org/details/roadtv. Join us next time on RBTV Voices for Ramping Up Your English.